EIB Network and the Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day. No matter how you analyze that, it's true, by the way. Here's Derek in Alexandria, Virginia. Great to have you on the program, sir. Hello.
Hi, Russ. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes,
lifelong Republican, lifelong conservative, and I guess I come from a typical Republican family this election cycle where my brother supports Trump, my sister supports Cruz, and I support Kasich. And I guess I'm wanting to let you from the master school me today on where I'm wrong concerning Kasich, because I agree with what you said to the previous caller that the sole mission is defeating Hillary Clinton 100%. And I come from the standpoint that I understand the support for Trump, and I understand why people are behind him, but he talks about making deals and doing good deals for America and being what's right for America, and I get all that. And I understand why all the Cruz supporters support him because of the true conservative. I guess what I don't understand, and hope that you'll help me understand, is how is Kasich not a conservative? And he seems to be discounted, and I realize he's only won his state, and he's certainly a long shot. But my question is, if you look at his record and his accomplishments, both working on defense when he was in Congress, helping to get a balanced budget for the country, and then what he's done in Ohio, how is he not qualified as a conservative, and how is he not well positioned to beat Hillary Clinton, which I totally agree with you is our sole mission come November?
Well, the last question first. John Kasich has been running for the Republican presidential nomination since when did Kasich get it? He's been in this since June, July. Has he been in it since the beginning?
Yeah, he was late getting in.
When did he get in? September, October. When did he get? He didn't get in just 3 weeks ago. When did he get in this thing? The fact that I can't even remember ought to tell you something. When did he get into this?
I'm not
Kasich
sure.
Gets in. Okay. Do you know when he got into it? When did he get into it?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he was late.
It was so uneventful when he announced it, nobody can remember when it was. That's number one. Number two, since whenever it was he got in, nobody's voted for him. He hasn't. In order to win, you have to get votes. You've got to get more votes than anybody else. He hasn't. He has he hadn't been able to raise anywhere near the amount of money that other candidates have. I mean, the bare basic ingredients and definition of political success, he hasn't even gotten close. See, he got July 21st, he announced. July 21st, and that he was in this for so long, and you didn't even know it. Number two, yeah, he was part of the Republican freshman class in 1994 that went in there, and they did great things. They balanced the budget, and they for a year and a half, 2 years, they were smoking. But most of them are gone now. Most of that freshman class is gone. They stopped teaching and espousing conservatism when they got into office. They made a mistake of thinking the country had become conservative, and that's why they won. And so they just assumed that everything they were for, people were going to unanimously or close to unanimously support. Wasn't the case. Much of what got them elected was a protest vote against corrupt Democrats and a desire for just change. The Democrats had run the place for 40 years. The point I'm leading to is Kasich's not the same guy that he was when he chaired the budget committee to balance the budget. He's not the same conservative. He used to come to my office with Frank Luntz. They talk about messaging and all kinds of stuff. Kasich is now he's doing the best impression of a sensitive soul, do-gooder liberal of anybody in the Republican primaries. I don't know about the Ohio economy outside of fracking, discovering oil. What else there is. I don't dislike Kasich. I think he is a guy who got there and was one of us, kind of conservative. And over the course of years, he I don't know how he turned. He relaxed. He moderated. He became more moderate. And now he doesn't. He refers to himself as a conservative, and what he does as somehow representing conservative values, but he doesn't talk conservatism. He used to be able to match wits with Newt Gingrich. I mean, he and Newt and the boys, that was Boehner too. I mean, if you want to know what happened to Kasich, look at Boehner. It's the same thing. Same state, by the way. He's not, he hasn't demonstrated that he can appeal to a mass national electorate. I don't want to go too much farther because he's not going to. Well, I'll tell you what he's banking on. He's banking on this thing going to a contested convention, and he's banking on the Republican establishment choosing him. That's conservatism and the Republican establishment. They don't overlap. It's about the best I can tell you. Look, folks, John Kasich epitomizes the I'm the guy to cross the aisle and work with the Democrats Republican. He said that he would happily serve as the Democrats' vice president, or he might even choose a Democrat as his running mate if he were to get the nomination. The Democrat Party is not the opposition to him, and they are to me. The Democrat Party defeating a Democrat's all this is about to me. And John Kasich doesn't sound like that big a deal to him. Rather get along with him. And that's a mistake. Trump meeting with members of the Republican National Committee. Their headquarters in Washington, the agenda not yet known. Trump was scheduled to be in Washington to meet with his foreign policy team. But his appearance over the RNC came as a surprise today. Well, I wonder why. And I need to correct something on Kasich. I said that he came to Washington with the Republican freshman class in 1994. Turns out that's not right. Kasich was elected to Congress in 1983. January 3rd. He was sworn in January 3rd, 1983. I did not know that. All this time, I thought Kasich, well, that's because that's when I met him. That's when he... No, I don't mean anything else by it. I'm correcting the record. I actually thought he was a member of the GOP freshman class in 1994. Your guiding light through times of trouble, confusion, murkiness, tumult, chaos. Rush Limbaugh behind the golden EIB microphone. Another thing about Kasich, if there's been a governor that has helped expand Obamacare, it's Kasich. By just going all in, hog wild on Medicare expansion in Ohio. And he did it happily. He embraced it. And it's just... Kasich believes in an active, engaged executive, a governor, a president, and large government involving itself for the good of society, using the goodness of the executive, the morality, the whatever of the executive to shape the... I mean, he's a government activist. He's not somebody who believes in limited government, getting things out of the way. Loves process, like Dukakis did. Dukakis loved the process of having meetings with bureaucrats to discuss policy to make people's lives better. And it's the antithesis of the essential conservative belief of limited government.